Hi, my name is Roger Rowley. I am the Operations Manager for Philips Consumer Lifestyle, a division of Philips New Zealand Limited. We've been using Earl as a reverse logistics solution for a few months now, and I've found it to be pretty much a silver bullet application. Philips Consumer Lifestyle in New Zealand is part of the global Philips business. We import consumer electronics products such as television, audio and video products, peripherals and accessories, and we distribute these through a variety of channels through the whole country. In reverse logistics, we have three key issues that Earl helped us with. They were in call centre, in transport and in compliance and training. Our call centre hours match our operating hours, which are effectively from 8:30 till 5 in the afternoon, Monday to Friday. And this doesn't necessarily match the hours that retailers are open. Invariably, they're a 7-day-a-week operation and up till 9 o'clock at night. So there are periods of time where our staff are not available if the retailer requires some information or wants to do a return. So that in itself is an issue. The call centre is expensive and it's not open when the retailer wants it. Implementing the Earl program, effectively it's there, web-based, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So by utilising the application, the retailer can get the answers they want and submit a request for a Goods Return Authority or GRA whenever they are open there in front of the consumer. So it removes a lot of cost out of the call centre from our perspective and increases the level of accessibility that the retailer has to the GRA service that Philips provides. The second significant issue we have is around freight. Biggest issue within that it probably is transparency, in that we don't have a clear idea of what is coming back, when it's coming back, and by whom. So without that transparency, it's very, very hard to manage the receipt of those goods in an efficient way. Utilising Earl gives us transparency due to the application linking directly into the courier's website, in this particular case with Courier Post. So it automatically creates the ticket for the pickup, assigns a ticket number, so straight away we have track and trace availability right through the whole process. The other issue is quite often we would find that the incorrect type of transport is arranged for the product. For example, we are marketing products from small MP3 players right through to large LCD TVs, and to have a large carrier truck come in to pick up an MP3 player is totally inefficient and leads to excessive cost. Another issue in regards to freight is that the product basically took a two-leg journey. It came back to our 3PL for processing and then invariably went out to a service company or some other third party to have the product repaired, serviced or inspected. So that was two legs in a journey, which resulted in two freight costs. Using ERL, we can at a SKU level determine where that product is going to go and who is going to do the pickup and delivery. So it cuts one leg out of the journey, so there's one leg's worth of freight cost saved. It cuts out the processing costs at the 3PL, and it also gives transparency to the receiver that the goods are on the way. So it gives them clarity of what to expect, and in effect that notification is pretty much like an advanced shipping notice or an ASN for them. So they are quite clear on what is going to be received by them, and they can plan and manage that inbound or inwards goods processing more effectively. Compliance costs also are a major issue, and that is complying with this little document here, 18 pages of how to deal with warranty and returns. Very comprehensive, and we are just one of a number of suppliers that are dealing with the retail chains. So it's very difficult for retailers to get it right first time. There is different ways of doing it for different organisations. So in itself, getting it right first time was extremely difficult and resulted in a large number of calls coming backwards and forwards between the retailer and our call centre to try and get a return done successfully and completed successfully, which means the product arriving back in our warehouse, being inspected, being processed, and eventually the credit being applied to the retailer's account. ERL enforces our returns policy at the point of return. It takes away all the guesswork, it takes away all the toing and froing, the telephone calls that arise because a retailer is not sure of what needs to happen with what product at any particular time. All the rules around the returns policy are built into the EARL program at a SKU level, so that at that level we can determine instantaneously with a configuration change how a product is going to be managed. For example, a DVD player, pretty much a commodity type item, very low cost. With a simple configuration change, we can have that changed from a returned product to perhaps one that is scrapped on site, with the relevant information documentation being loaded into EARL and a compliance statement being ticked off. It saves the reverse logistics costs of that product. Because EARL is 100% accurate, we know that the information that we are getting is accurate and correct, and that removes the issues of more than two or three-way communication. It also helps the retailer or the customer services person on the front desk when dealing with the consumer, because they can see straight away that the information that they have provided is accurate, and the rules that dictate what happens to the product is there on the screen in front of them, and the consumer can also see this. So there's no argument about the process that we need to follow in regards to the return of the product, and there's no need for the retailer or the customer services person to fumble through a host of manuals to try and find out what is the best or the right way to deal with this product that needs to be returned. An important aspect of compliance, of course, is training, and the ability to train them comprehensively with process changes or procedural changes or even policy changes is a huge task. EARL takes that away completely because it automates the entire process and the policies are instilled into the application. So it's no longer a case of having to do training because all the prompts are there on the web form, and it's a case of just follow the steps. Another important aspect of returns is the no fault found area, where products are returned generally because the consumer has not understood how the product operates properly, thinks there is a fault, and it gets returned to retail. Within EARL there is a process of Q&As where for a certain product or a certain SKU we can put onto the site a set of fairly common questions and answers that the retailer can ask the customer to ensure that they've followed up or checked common problems that we come across in relation to how the product is used. And this in itself helps to remove the number of returns that we get that are no fault found. Because we had a very comprehensive set of rules based around our policy to start with, it was a very simple process to map those across to the EARL application. So the time to go through the process of developing and introducing the application itself was quite short. The flexibility of EARL allows us to configure, as I mentioned before, our policy and procedures right down to individual product or SKU level. EARL has improved our service level and reduced our costs. Even within the first 2 months of operation, we noticed significant savings in regards to call centre costs. The number of calls coming in as a result of moving to EARL was significantly reduced, and the reverse logistics costs associated with freight were also significantly reduced. Philips New Zealand is a small part of the global Philips organisation. Even so, we've measured and indicated that the savings that we will get out of utilising the EARL package over the next 12 months is in excess of $100,000, both in freight and in call centre costs.